Greetings, Dr. Joe here. I hope each of you are well and blessed wherever you are in the world, in this country. Um, I really hope and pray that all is well with you and your family. This is a video that is primarily intended for all of our recent graduates of the 4-day turn up and the journey process, but it may be great information for individuals who are not recent graduates or who may have an interest in what the 4-day turn up and the journey process is all about. If for whatever reason you don't know what the 4-day turn up is, the journey process, and you want more information, you can check us out at journeylife.tv. It gives you all the information you would need. Now, to those of you who've recently graduated, once again, congratulations. And I wanted to do another follow-up, another video to help you all prepare for the holidays. A couple things. The first thing that I want you to understand, you've heard me say this before, remember, a lot of people gain excessive amounts of weight during the holiday. There are averages to where people are gaining anywhere from 7 to 11 pounds, depending on your gender and depending upon your age. And one of the major reasons for that is because people look and don't isolate the holidays for what they are. All right, here we are at the end of the year. This is filmed in November of 2021. So here we are on the precipice of 3 holidays: Thanksgiving, which is this week, Christmas, which is a month from Thanksgiving, and New Year's, which is a week from Christmas. So we have 3 days over the course of about 6 weeks. Now, the problem is not what happens on Thanksgiving, on Christmas, or on New Year's, but the problem is what occurs, ladies and gentlemen, before and after those days. A lot of people allow this time of the year to be filled with holiday parties, social events, and really just being in a mindset of let me let my hair down, let me enjoy myself. And when you live in a culture like ours where we're overfed and we have a poor relationship with food, we oftentimes equate relaxation, letting my hair down, and enjoying myself as eating foods that are antithetical to making me look my best, feel my best, and be my best. So really it's a problem with our mindset. And it's a problem with the type of relationship we have with food. So I want to start this conversation with you so that you know that we're not dealing or talking about a holla week or a holla month. We're talking about a holiday. So when you allow your mentality of the holidays to understand that holidays within this season is Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's, then you're all good. Now, for those of you who have graduated, we've already talked about our protocol. We who are graduates are picking 2 out of the 3 days to give ourselves a free meal or a cheat meal. Not a whole cheat day, not a cheat week, not a cheat month, not a cheat season. We've got Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's, and we are picking 2 out of the 3. That's the protocol. Many of you are selecting Thanksgiving and Christmas, Christmas and New Year's, Thanksgiving and New Year's for whatever your reasons, and that's fine. But what this does is, you see, in order to have freedom in life, there must be boundaries. Freedom does not exist without boundaries because there's no duality of those who are free and those who are not. So what allows us to be free and to have the freedoms that we want to live the life that we want to live in terms of our health, our wellness, and going into the new year, sustaining our weight loss and even continuing in our weight loss journey, is understanding that I have to have boundaries. I can't go to all of these festive events. I can't drink all of this eggnog. I can't go to every holiday party. So by saying, hey, okay, I'm going to have 2 days out of the holiday season whereby I'm going to treat myself with a individual free meal. So that automatically reduces the amount of splurging, the amount of overeating. And we've already done that. Now let's talk more so about the holidays. Let's talk about the holidays. And let's talk about what Thanksgiving, Christmas, or New Year's looks like. Now, being that this week we have Thanksgiving coming up, we're going to talk. I'm going to be using the verbiage of Thanksgiving, but you can apply what I'm teaching you in this to any of the holiday at any time of the year, and whatever two out of the three you pick for those of you who've graduated and for those of you who are following the protocol. Whenever you're looking at something, there are always three phases of it. It's the beginning or before, the actual event, and then the after. All right, the beginning, the middle, and the ending per se. And likewise, that's how I want to take these words in order to give you in hopes that it helps you understand and adhere to what I've already taught you, and just giving you just a bit more fodder and support during this holiday season. All right. The first thing in terms of Thanksgiving is the beginning. All right. The beginning is going to boil down to your mindset. This goes back to our pre-work. Pre-work is about 4 weeks that we spend for those individuals who are going through the 40-day turn up and the journey, where we're dealing with various elements of the mind, the spirit, the emotions. It's about creating that agreement that, hey, this is the week of Thanksgiving, but I'm making an agreement with myself that I'm going to keep my free meal on Thanksgiving. Not on Monday, not on Tuesday, not on Wednesday, not on Friday, not on Saturday or Sunday, but Thanksgiving. When I go over mom's house or dad's house or your family's house, or if you're cooking at your house or whatever you're doing, you're making an agreement with yourself right now that this is the day and the time that I'm allotting to myself to indulge in some foods that perhaps I want. All right? It's making an agreement with yourself. See, a lot of times your success is about the planning of it. A lot of times people enter the holidays and they just, they go to the party. They're not thinking, oh, what will be offered to me? Am I going to eat? They just go and, food is passed out and people eat. They don't think about it. And then they go to the next party and the next event and the next function and the next whatever it is, work event, school event. And then these days and these events are adding up. And then the next thing you're in the top of December and you put on weight, you're feeling bloated, you're holding water. And when you're not feeling your best and looking your best, all of us enter a state of quasi depression, because you're kind of down on yourself because, you don't like what you see in the mirror. You don't like how you feel. And it just compounds because we have no plan. So the first way to succeed in this holiday season is understanding you have to have a plan. Your plan is making that agreement. My free meal is isolated to a meal on Thanksgiving. I'm making an agreement with myself right now. So what happens is you're taking the negotiation out of the process. When Monday comes of Thanksgiving, you're not thinking about, oh, maybe I'll go to this event and I'll have a brunch with some friends, or, oh, maybe I'll go to this holiday event, or when I go to work and you already know the holiday party is on Wednesday. No, you've already made an agreement. So those are non-negotiables. When you take the negotiation out of if I'm going to do right or wrong, you're setting yourself up for success. Why? Because you've made the agreement. Agreements eradicate the torture of negotiating what I want to do with what I need to do. So understand that. So when we go into Thanksgiving, not thinking about it, I know my free meal is going to be on Thanksgiving. So it's no need for me to be in torment on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. If I got functions, I'll go to the functions. I'll drink my water. I'll have my meals maybe before I get there, maybe after I leave, or I may bring it with me, whatever you have to do. So the first thing in order for us to be successful is understanding the before. You win before Thanksgiving even comes. Just like a boxer or a fighter or a football or a basketball team, you win in the preparation. You win before the game because it's a mindset. I'm prepared. Now just think about the power you'll have when you enter Thanksgiving, but you already in the right mindset. You've been eating right all week. You've been adhering to your protocol. You've been doing what you're supposed to do with your fitness, with your water intake, with the type of meals. You've been on top of monitoring your weight. Just think about the power you'll get when Thanksgiving comes. You're not sitting up here with the mindset of, oh, let me go indulge myself. Why? Because you've already made an agreement. You've already created the plan. And now it's time to work the plan. You plan to work and you work the plan. Okay? So the first step in being successful in this holiday season is making that agreement that my free meal is on a day. All right? Now, the second thing is the actual moment. What does Thanksgiving look like? What does Christmas look like? What does New Year's actually look like? Well, in order to tell you what it looks like, let me tell you the mistake that people make. Once again, it comes back to our unhealthy relationship with food. What a lot of people do, perhaps you've done it, perhaps family members, friends do it, is when Thanksgiving comes or Christmas or New Year's comes, people will wake up and they won't eat. They'll fast. They'll exercise. They'll drink water. And they're doing these things to make more room in their stomach to overindulge themselves. Now just sit back for a moment and think about how asinine that is in the overall scheme of how it makes you feel and what it's doing to you psychologically and emotionally. When you go into that Thanksgiving with not having eaten, even having worked out, not for the health of it, but just for the mere fact that you can build up an appetite. So when you get to mom or dad's house, or when you sit down to cook, or the multiple stops that you're going to make, you got all of this space and you got all of this room so you can overindulge yourself with dressing, with cornbread, with ham and cakes and drink or whatever it is that you want to do. No, listen, when Thanksgiving comes, you want to wake up and eat like you've been trained to eat. And I'm not going to get into that because a lot of you have not come through the process. Within an hour of rising, you want something on your stomach. You want to go to that Thanksgiving free meal in a pseudo-fed state, meaning that I've got something on my stomach and I'm not famished. Because when you eat the proper portion at the right time with the proper hydration as you have been trained, then what's going to happen is you'll always be to the point to where you're never full, but you're never hungry. That's how you want to have your cheat meal. You don't want to be famished. It's almost like going to the grocery store and you're hungry. You buy everything that looks good to you because you're in a different emotional state. You're in an emotional state of greed. You're in an emotional state of overindulgence. The food helps us to tame that. We are physical bodies, but we're also spiritual beings. The unequivocal truth of us having physical bodies that has hormones and atoms and nerves does impact where we exist spiritually. So what am I saying? What I'm saying is it's very, very difficult to control your hunger when you are in a state of hunger. Meaning what? If I'm going to give myself a free meal, right? But I'm starving when I go to that free meal, what am I going to do? I'm going to overeat. Okay? I mean, it's going to happen to the best of them. So a lot of you are saying, well, how many times should I eat? I can't tell you how many times because I don't know when you're going to eat. But let's hypothetically say that your meal is going to be around 3 o'clock. I would get up on Thanksgiving morning and I would have me a regular breakfast around 8 o'clock. And then maybe around 11, I'll have a small micro meal, something that is protein, carbs, and fats, but maybe it's about 200 calories, something just to take the edge off, something to keep my blood sugar stable. So when it's time for my free meal, I can still eat, but I'm setting myself up physically to where I'm not spiritually nor emotionally compromised in a weak state. Do you understand what I'm saying? So Thanksgiving Day should not be a time to fast and starve. Is there something wrong with fasting? No. But fasting needs to have a strategy involved in it. If it's something that you're trying to gain spiritual wisdom and strength, or you're trying to incorporate it weekly as we do. But fasting should never be perverted, whereby I'm not eating just so I can overindulge. When you think about that, it's very antithetical. And these are the things that we do to set ourselves up for failure. The next thing that you want to focus in on the actual day, because remember, we're talking about beginning, the actual event, and after, is when you eat a serving, no seconds. For what? You've tasted the cornbread. You've tasted the ham. You've tasted the sweet potato. You've tasted the punch, the sweet tea and lemonade. You've tasted a piece of cake. Why do you need to taste it again? The seconds and the third helpings, those are the ways that we push ourselves over the top. Those are the ways that we push ourselves in a place and state to where we start to feel bad. We start to get sluggish. We start to get sleepy. We start to feel bloated. So when you think about it on the front end, why should I have numerable plates of food when the first plate of food will bring me just as much pleasure as anything else? The second plate of food is not going to bring you more pleasure than the first. The third plate of food is not going to bring you more pleasure than the first. So you want to be able to train yourself on how to not overindulge. This is a part of discipline, and people bifurcate eating with spirituality. But the two merge, because one of the best ways to work on discipline is to control how you eat, what you eat, the amount you eat, and when you eat. It's a spiritual discipline. This is something that children need to be trained. We've been training a generation of kids, hey, eat all your food. Do you want second helpings? In our house, when we serve our children and they ask for more after we know they've been given the proper amount, there are no more seconds. Children need to be trained how and when to stop. And they need to know how and what it feels like to be satisfied. And they need to understand that feeling full is not the goal of eating. It's to extrapolate the energy that's in the food that optimizes every element of me on a cellular level, on a hormonal level, on a molecular level, on a mental and emotional level. So when I'm eating food, it should nourish me. It should bring me energy. It should bring me strength. It should bring me stable blood sugar. It should provide all the micronutrients. Those are the vitamins and the minerals that I need to optimize my life. That's all food is for. Food is fuel. So we don't eat to live. We live. We don't live to eat. We eat so we can live. All right? So keep that in mind. So stage 1 is the before. Stage 2 is the day of. Now let's talk about the day after. Thanksgiving is always on a Thursday. Christmas is always a week after Thanksgiving. A month after Thanksgiving, roughly. And then New Year's is always a week after Christmas. So the day after your free meal needs to be a day you take advantage of. How do I take advantage of that day after? I'm glad you asked. You got to understand that the day after you have that free meal, your body is uptaking more calories, more carbohydrates, more fats, more proteins, which is fine when it is left within that cheat meal. So the next day after your Thanksgiving free meal, or whatever the holiday you choose, is the day that you need to have one of the best workouts of at least not the month, the whole week. Your body's going to have more calories in it. You're going to be feeling better. And this is how you take advantage of the calories and help it push you positively in terms of momentum without making it disastrous. Now, think about it. Most other people are going to be eating, right, leftovers for 2, 3, 4 days. Most other people are going to be not only eating leftovers for the next few days, but they're going to be going to other social events. Compounded, you see? But see, you and I, who've made an agreement, we got a cheat meal on Thanksgiving, on Christmas, or on New Year's based upon the 2 out of the 3 that you pick. So the day after for us, we're in a different space. Where are we? We back to the grind. We're back to the protocol. We're back to getting it done. We're back to just like Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of Thanksgiving week had a certain look to it, so does Friday. So now when I wake up in the morning, this is when I have the best workout of my life. The day after your free day, increase your intensity a bit because you're going to have the energy to do it. If you normally walk 3 miles, walk 4. If you normally run 2 miles, run 3. If you normally work out for 45 minutes, put in an hour. It doesn't matter. Just push yourself because what you're doing is you're taking advantage of the extra energy that's in your system. What's the energy? That's what a calorie is. It's an individual unit of energy. This is when you have your best workouts and you can really get the burn. You can really take advantage of it in a positive way. You're back on top of your diet. You're back on top of your water intake. You're back on top of your exercise. You're back on top of your eating every 3 hours like you've been trained, the type of meals that you've been eating. That's one way you can handle post free day. The second day, the second option is you can have your fast day. Right after Thanksgiving is over, do your 24-hour fast right after that on Friday, and then back at it on Saturday. Pick one. Okay? Pick one. They're both great plans, and they're both great strategies. Listen, if you adhere to what I'm teaching you in the pre, in the during, and in the post, by the time Sunday gets here, whatever few pounds you gain will be gone. And guess what? By Monday, you'll probably, some of you, be lighter on Monday than you were on Thursday if you're doing it correctly. This is the protocol. There's no holiday season in terms of eating. It's just like any other season. I got 2 meals on 3 different holidays that will be free to and for me. I will enjoy that meal, but I will not pervert my indulgence by overindulging and not being able to enjoy it. When you eat too much, you can't enjoy it. When you eat too much, you can't enjoy it. If you're a man and you got too many women in your life, you can't enjoy none of them. If you're a woman and you got too many men in your life, you can't enjoy any of them. There is a such thing as people as having too much money. If you have all the money in the world, everything becomes valueless. Sometimes in life, less is more. This is one of them. Enjoying foods that you like on a certain day are not the causation of people gaining exorbitant amount of weight during the holiday season or people becoming diabetic. It's people who are doing it consistently. It's people who are looking at the top of November all the way to the top of the year as a free-for-all for me to eat what I want to do, go out, all the parties, all the events, and then by the time New Year's gets here, I'm miserable. I'm 20 pounds larger. I'm swollen. I don't feel good about myself, about who I am, about how I'm looking. And now I got to make these empty New Year's resolutions that I'm not going to stick to for a week. So, hey, I'm not trying to enter January 1 regressing, man. I'm trying to enter January 1 having maintained what I have been busting my behind, and I know you're trying to do the same thing. So this is how you do it, gang. There are 3 holidays: Thanksgiving, Christmas and New Year's. You pick two. How are you going to have your free meal? Well, what does it look like before? I've already told you. What does the day of look like? I've already told you. What does it look like the day after? I've already told you. Let's get it done, gang. Have an amazing Thanksgiving. And for the first time in your entire life, you're going to see and understand, hey, I can have a great Thanksgiving. I can have a great Christmas. I can have a great New Year's, and I don't have to overindulge. I don't have to overeat. I don't have to eat myself into a food coma. And let me tell you what the best year is. The best year is when you enter a new year, and for the first time, you're looking in the mirror, and you may not be where you want to be, but you come a long way. You don't have to start off the new year in the rears. You're starting off the new year with momentum. Be well, be blessed. I hope this helps. Leave your comments, questions in the comment section. And once again, to any of you who are watching this and you want to be a part of the world's greatest transformational processes, join me and visit me at www.journeylife.tv. Till next time, be blessed. Peace.